Okay. Now, on last, मेरी आवाज जा रही है?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On last one, we have discussed about the various type of architecture that support parallel execution of program to achieve parallelism. Okay. Now, to achieve parallelism, next thing is the programming environment. So that we will discuss after the discussion of the performance. We have two type of parallelism. One is implicit parallelism, another is explicit parallelism. Implicit parallelism means the parallelism available in the program itself, and it is determined by the your compiler, and compiler is responsible for generation of the code in such a manner, means codes are scheduled in such a manner so that they can execute it on the machine supporting the parallel execution. Okay, and here second type of parallelism is explicit parallelism. Now it is in this type of parallelism we can introduce. We need a language that has language construct to express the parallel execution segment of the program, and it is the responsibility of the programmer to identify the parallelism available in the problem, and accordingly he will use the language construct to write parallel various segments that can be executed in parallel. Okay. Before discussing how we a programmer or a compiler extract this implicit or explicit parallelism from program or in a problem, first discuss about the performance of these processor. So now see the attribute that is to be considered for the performance. One is hardware technology. हेलो, आप लोग बंद कर दीजिए अब. यू हैव एनी प्रॉब्लम? पीपीटी दिख रही है आपको?
यस सर.
हाँ, तो ये कह दो सब लोग अपने को म्यूट करें भाई, डिस्टरबेंस होता है ना. ओके, नाउ सी what are the various attributes on which performance of the system depends. Hardware technology, you have seen, if you have more resources, you can do the more parallel execution. You may see we have already discussed the architecture of the Intel processor. In that you can, on single core, you can do the perform 5 operations simultaneously. It is only due to the hardware technology. Okay. Architectural features means how these hardware means you have 5 functional units that are the hardware, but how it is going to be utilized. To utilize these 5 functional units, you see the arrangement. We have, again consider the same architecture. We have instruction pool and reservation station. Reservation station just pick micro ops or micro instruction from instruction pool, and also a particular functional unit for execution. Okay, so this is the architectural feature, and by introducing this architectural feature, we can do the out of order execution, and to preserve the semantic. If we are doing out of order execution, then that we may lose the semantic of the problem. So to preserve the semantic, we have another hardware architectural arrangement, that is retirement unit, that retires the instruction in same manner as they have been generated by the decoder. Okay. So architectural feature also plays major role on the performance. Okay. Next is the efficient resource management. Means operating system is responsible for managing the resources. Suppose you you are not using the cache memory. In that case, the processor has to refer the information from main memory. Then again, that will hamper the efficiency of the program execution. And if you are using the cache memory, but the mapping technique to map the address generated by the processor onto the cache is not effective, in that case, again, your performance is reduced. So all these things, this management is done by the operating system. Again, other devices that is connected to the operating machine, to the system, are also managed by the operating system. And if it is yes,
हमारी हाँ दादा कहाँ नहीं रखे
नहीं क्लास होती है
आवाज बंद करो तुम. वेट, आप लोग कहें म्यूट कर दीजिए ना. So operating system plays major role for efficient resource management. Okay. Next is the algorithm design. If you have machine capable of doing the execution in parallel, then we have to design algorithm accordingly, so that we may explore the parallelism available onto the machine. Data structure also plays major role. This data, how we store the data, this in the memory to refer the for manipulation. Again, the structure that is imposed on the memory for storing the data also plays major role. Means you know you go through about this subject only to store data and memory so that it may be efficiently retrieved. Because just see, if you are doing the manipulation in parallel, then more data is needed for manipulation. So your structure should be capable for providing the data in same pace and accurately. Language efficiency also plays major role. If you have a machine that can do the execution in parallel, but you don't have a language, or you don't know the language to explore, you know the language to explore the parallelism. Suppose you know only C. कौन है भाई? Okay. खत्म. Now it is visible. System attribute to performance.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are discussing about language efficiency. Means you must to explore the parallelism available onto the machine. You must use a language that has language construct to explore to express parallelism in your program. Okay. Next thing is the programmer skill. This programmer skill. If suppose you have the language and programmer doesn't know how to use, then again you can't explore the allowable degree of allowable parallelism. And second way is this: if programmer is not skilled, you may use a compiler. And nowadays, this burden is given to compiler only, because you have the machines that can do the execution in parallel, but आज बहुत डिस्टरबेंस हो रहा है. In parallel, but you can't change all the programmer, or you can't train all the programmer to switch onto such machine and use those languages that support parallel programming. So what we can do, we can just put the burden to compiler. Compiler designer can now programmer is free. Programmer will just write a program as in previous case, means for sequential execution. Now compiler will just explore the implicit parallelism in the program and do the implicit generate code for parallel execution. Okay. Next, performance indicators. Turnaround time means the time in which your program is active. Okay. So in this, we will consider this disk and memory access, I/O operation, compile time, operating system overhead, and CPU time. We have not considered overhead due to the I/O system, because if you see in most of the system, it is overlapped with other operation performed by CPU. Means most of the I/O operation use DMA. Okay, then suppose you are using printer, it is the memory is get directly routed to the printer. Memory where you have the information that is to be printed is directly routed to the printer by DMA through DMA controller, and DMA controller take charge of the printing. Okay, and during that time your processor is free to do anything. Okay, so it has not been considered. Now, how we compute the performance? As you know, each and every processor is driven by a clock. You have the operating frequency. I have told you what is the actual frequency and what is the logical frequency during discussion of the Pentium processor, evaluation of the Pentium processor. So each processor operates on a certain language, certain clock, and we have the time period of the clock. Time period means tau. This is the time period of the clock. And frequency that is nothing but 1 by tau megahertz. Okay, now it will be megahertz, gigahertz. In some embedded system, it is kilohertz. Okay, so on the basis of this, and see the execution of a program. Execution of the program is nothing but execution of individual instructions. Okay, and you know the execution of instruction, the time taken by execution of each instruction is not same. Some instruction time means number of clock needed to do the execution of various instruction. Some instruction need two clock, some 3 clock, some 4 clock, like this. Means it varies. It will depend upon the means execution of instruction means entire instruction cycle. Okay. This is the machine cycle. The tau is the machine cycle. I will just explain. See, you just suppose this is the clock. Like this. Suppose instruction is move AB. Okay. So code is 78. In the case of 8085, you have computed. Now, how this instruction will execute? This 78 is written at any memory location. Okay. And to execute this instruction, your program counter should have this address. So now, when program counter loads the address into the memory address register, it will take 1 clock. 1 clock means from here to here. It is 1 clock, and time period is tau. Okay. So it needs 1 clock to write the content of program counter into memory address register. And then it enters into wait cycle. Okay. It may be possible it has to wait for 1 cycle. It has to wait for 10 cycle. That will हाँ रवि, हाँ हमारे क्लास चल रहा है. So it depends upon where this 78 is residing presently. It may be in L1 cache, means instruction cache. If it is not in L1 cache, it may be in L2 cache. If not in L2 cache, it may be in L3 cache. If it is in L1 cache, so you may get the instruction in next cycle. मान लीजिए हम बाद में बात करेंगे, मेरी क्लास चल रही है. In next cycle, okay. Suppose data is available at this position. Here data is available. Then that that is nothing but here you will get 7, 8 in memory data register and memory buffer register. Now it is routed to the instruction register. That will need one memory cycle. Okay. Now, after then, it is the case of 8085. Okay. After then, this information is going to be decoded. Okay. So decoding and generating the control signal, it will need one memory cycle, and then your timing and control unit will generate control signal to make B register write enable and A register read enable. So during this period, data transfer will take place. So to do the execution, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cycles are needed. So one instruction cycle for this move AB is equivalent to 5 machine cycle. Okay. But suppose this information, this is you have memory M. In that case, what happens? It will load the content of HL pair, okay, into the memory address register and wait for completion of memory fetch, okay. And after then, when data will appear in memory buffer register, then it may transfer to accumulator and need one cycle. So you may add 3 more cycle. So in that case, it needs 8 cycles. Okay. So this is called instruction cycle. This is machine cycle, and one instruction cycle may consist of several machine cycle, one instruction cycle. Similarly, we have memory cycle. If you have to refer, we will discuss how we can refer the information in one. If you have to refer the information from main memory, then how much time it will take? It is called memory cycle. Okay. So in this way, cycle means tau. 1 by tau is frequency. This is in, suppose this is in nanosecond, this is time. Tau is nothing but it has time unit, and frequency means how many time unit will occur in 1 second is the operating frequency. Okay. So for the performance, we compute the CPI. CPI means clock needed per instruction. So you just see here, for this particular case, we need 5 clock, and in one case we need 8 clock. So how we can consider this as an attribute? Actually, we will compute average CPI. If suppose total number of clock needed is capital C to execute a program, and time taken is T, then C by T is CPI. And not time, number of instruction is I. So C is the total number of clock and I is the number of instruction. Total number of clock needed to do the execution of a program, okay, is C, and I is the number of instruction. Suppose C is the total number of clock needed to do the execution of a program. You just note down program, and I is the number of instruction in that program. Then this will be the average CPI. Okay. Then how we make for any program? You know this instruction count, but and how you can get this? For that, you know the nature of each instruction and each instruction, how many clock needed for execution of each instruction. You may compute the average CPI. Okay, it will depend if your processor is involved. In that case, okay. And now you can compute the total time taken to execute the program. If you know this CPI, you can again go back. Just see. If suppose you know this capital C is total number of clock needed, if you multiply it by tau, this is the time taken to for the execution of that very program. If you need CPI, then CPI into number of instruction into tau is also T. Just see, you know CPI into IC is nothing but C, because you have computed. C by IC is CPI. Okay, so you can find the total time. This time, in this you may have CPU time as well as memory time. Okay, so suppose now see. Suppose CPU time is P and memory cycle needed to refer सर अभी हमारी क्लास चल रही है, अभी हम बात करते हैं. Is M for memory, this M for memory, and K times slower. So M into K will be for one memory access. So you can compute this processor time and memory time. You can add IC count. Just see P. Here we are. You just consider the initial discussion. Execution time and to refer the information from memory. If you add and multiply with the number of, this is the average processor time and average memory access time. Multiply with number of instruction and tau, you can also calculate this. Next. Now, how this affect the system attribute that we have discussed, affect the performance. So we have instruction count. Instruction count. This is the processor time, CPU time, memory. The K is the number of time it is slower than the processor, and this is tau. Tau is the so in instruction set architecture, we IC and P will be main component, okay, main factor for the system performance, okay. Compiler technology will affect IC. I will explain. IC, P, and M. IC means instruction count. Actually, why compiler technology is affect the? You see, we have during introduction we have discussed we have RISC and CISC, two type of machine. In CISC machine, if you have compiler of CISC machine, you can perform complex operation with single instruction, machine instruction. But in the RISC machine, to realize that operation, you need several instructions. So the RISC machine has, if you consider this scenario, in that case, compiler will generate more instruction for the RISC machine and less number of instruction for the CISC machine. Okay. Similarly, processor and memory. Which type of instruction is get generated by the compiler to perform the operation? Okay, means you can do the multiplication through multiplier, and you can also do the multiplication using simple add and shift using adder. Okay, that we'll discuss. Simple addition. And M means memory. Memory, how memory? Because your compiler is responsible for assigning the addressing modes for the operand to be faced during manipulation of information, means at the time of execution of program. So the compiler technology affects IC, instruction count, processor time, as well as memory time. CPU implementation and control. CPU is processor time as well as tau. Cache and memory hierarchy affects, that is this K times. If you have very efficient cache management and perhaps you know hit ratio, we will discuss. Hit ratio is 0.99. In that case, 99% reference generated by the processor are available in cache. Only 1% reference is from main memory. And suppose CPU generate, you may say 100 reference, then 90, and access time of this cache memory is 1 nanosecond and main memory is 100 nanosecond. Okay, in that case 99 nanoseconds are needed to refer the 99 instruction and 100 nanoseconds are needed to refer one instruction. Total 199 nanosecond needed to do the execution of 100 instruction. But suppose if it is 0.9, in that case 90 nanoseconds needed to do the execution of 90 instruction residing in the cache, and for 10 instruction you need 10 into 100, means 1090 nanoseconds. So you may say the effect of this K. Okay. We will discuss this. Now MIPS rate, million instruction per second. It is the, means if you see, we have for high computing machine, the performance is written in the MIPS and megaflops. MIPS means million instruction per second. Okay. Megaflop, million floating point operation per second. Okay. Megaflop. So you are aware with this, we have computed this. Other relationship you can count. Okay. Now, if you know that your processor can do the execution of IC in T. IC is the instruction count in T seconds. Then you can find the number of instruction per second. IC, let's see. Number of instruction per second is IC by T. Okay. This is the time taken to do the execution of IC instruction. IC is the total number of instruction. Okay. IC by T. And if you divide it by 10 to the power 6, it will become million. Okay. Now you can just open. You can find this formula and this formula using this relations. You can compute the throughput. Okay. Using this formula. Means how many program you can execute per unit time is the throughput. Okay. And you can compute the throughput. This is the example. You just see. Consider the execution of an object code with 2000.
सर
हाँ बताइए.
सर ये फ्रीक्वेंसी ये हमें गिवन रहेगी, ये फ्रीक्वेंसी हमें गिवन रहेगी.
नहीं आवाज तुम्हारी साफ आ नहीं रही, बोलो.
ये थ्रूपुट सर, ये थ्रूपुट में जो हम कैलकुलेट करेंगे तो ये फ्रीक्वेंसी हमें गिवन रहेगी.
नंबर ऑफ प्रोग्राम पर यूनिट टाइम इज द थ्रूपुट. अभी हम लोग अगला आर्किटेक्चर बताएंगे तो उसमें कैलकुलेट करने को बताएंगे. ठीक. इट इज जनरल ऑफ पाइपलाइन बताया जाएगा तो उसमें थ्रूपुट कंप्यूट किया जाएगा. ठीक. ओके.
ओके सर. ओके सर.
मीन्स थ्रूपुट का मतलब होता है कितना हम वो दे रहे हैं आउटपुट. हाँ. तो नंबर ऑफ प्रोग्राम, कितने प्रोग्राम हम पर यूनिट टाइम में हम डिस्पोज कर दे रहे हैं, वो थ्रूपुट होता है. Now come to this MIPS rate. MIPS हम कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं. हाँ. Consider the execution of an object code with 2 lakhs instruction and 40 megahertz processor. Okay. And we have a instruction mix like this. So you just see, we start from basic. Okay. First we compute the number of clock needed to do the execution of 2000 instruction. So just see here, you just see First compute the number of arithmetic and logic instruction that are 60%, means 1.2 into 10 to the power. Okay, इसको सीधे लिखो. 1,20,000. Okay, load is stored at 18%. Okay, means total number of instruction is 18%, means 3,600. 18% means 36,000. 18% of 2 lakhs. ये आप लोग समझ रहे हैं ना? Any one of you? 18% total number of instruction is 2 lakhs, and 18% of that is 36,000. But each instruction need 2 CPI, means 2 clock. So multiplied by 2. After then, we have branch instruction 12. That is total number of instruction is 24,000 multiplied by 4. And memory reference with miss. Miss means the referred information is not available in cache. It has to refer from the main memory. Then we need 8 cycle. So it is 10%. So it is 10% means 20,008. So now you can compute total number of clock needed. For arithmetic logic instruction, it is saying that 1 clock is needed. Here, for load store instruction, you need 2 clock, so multiplied by 2. And for branch instruction, you need 4 clock, so multiplied by 4. For memory reference with miss, you need 8 clock, so multiplied by 8. So you can add, it is 1,20,000, 36,000. It is 3672. Sorry, 72. Then 36 into 2. Okay. Then we have 96,000 clock needed. This is the total number of clock needed. ये बात समझ आ रही है? It is 8. Sorry, 8. 4, and this is 4. Okay, 0, 0, 0. This is the total number of clock needed. Now you have to compute the CPI. CPI is C by IC. IC is instruction count. So this by 2 lakhs. You can. It is 2.24. Okay, CPI is 2.24. Now we can compute the CPI. Now we can compute MIPS rate, million instruction per second. Okay. You can compute the turnaround time. Just see, you don't use this formula. Total number of clock needed, execution time, is 448,000 multiplied by 40 megahertz. 1 by 40 into 10 to the power 6 is the tau for 40 megahertz. Okay. So this instruction count into tau. Tau means 40 into 10 to the power minus 6. You can just divide. It will give the t time. Okay, इसको हम जरा हटा दें. 4 discard. You have total clock is 448,000 and tau is, your tau is 40 megahertz. 40 megahertz means 1 by tau is 1 by 40 into 10 to the power 6 seconds. So you can directly multiply by tau, since it is divided 40 into 10 to the power 6 seconds. Million instruction. Million means you. This is your t, and total time needed to do the execution of this program. Okay, and now you have to compute in this much a time, in t time. In this time, it is doing execution of this much of instruction. So in 1 second, IC by T. IC बराबर, IC is 2 lakhs and T is 40 multiplied by 40 multiplied by 10 to the power 6, and here you will, sorry, ये नहीं होगा, it is, यहाँ लिखते हैं, इसको जरा हम फिर से दूसरा पेज लोड कर देते हैं. It is 2 lakhs is the total number of instruction by 448,000 and this multiplied by 40 into 10 to the power 6, and per million, this is total number of instruction get executed in 1 second. Per million instruction, it is 10 to the power. We will divide by 10 to the power 6. So you just remove it and simplify this, you will get this. Okay. So in this way, you can compute the MIPS rate of this processor. Any problem? क्या चले गए क्या तुम लोग? ठीक है?
यस सर।
ये सब आपको उससे मिलेगा, काई वांग की बुक में मिलेगा, और काई वांग की बुक का पहला चैप्टर में सारी इंफॉर्मेशन मिलेगी, और ये जो अभी हमने एग्जाम्पल दिया है उसके अनसॉल्व क्वेश्चन है। तो आप लगाते रहिएगा। आप हाँ बोलिए
सर। काई वांग में सब चीज मिल जाएगी क्या, कि हमें और बुक भी लेनी पड़ेगी?
आपको खरीदनी है, नेट से उतारो, ई बुक बहुत पड़ी है, हाँ? उसे पढ़ो, ठीक?
ओके।
हाँ, क्योंकि कई बुक्स में मिलेगा तो आप परेशान हो जाएंगे, हाँ? और ये सब्जेक्ट जो पढ़ाया जा रहा है, आप ध्यान दीजिएगा, आपकी गेट के लिए बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है, हाँ? ये परफॉर्मेंस, जो लोग गेट देना चाहते हैं उनके लिए ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। तो आप इसको ध्यान से पढ़िए। अब परफॉर्मेंस और क्वेश्चन आते हैं अक्सर, जो आज बताया गया है। ओके, थैंक यू। अगर आपको कुछ पूछना हो तो बताइए, पूछिए।
हाँ
Otherwise you can go for the next class.